The semiconductor arms race is one of the most strategically important duels between China and the United States. During her 19-hour visit to Taiwan, U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi met with Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Chairman Mark Liu, a sign of how critical semiconductors are to the United States. Nearly a decade ago, Xi Jinping personally launched the $50 billion National Semiconductor Investment Fund to achieve chip independence. 8 years later, Xi reportedly asked why semiconductors still pose a bottleneck problem. With that question, heads started rolling, and the anti-corruption storm hit China's semiconductor industry. Hello everyone, welcome to my show. I'm Lei. According to Dale Copeland, a professor of international affairs at the University of Virginia, Beijing is more worried about not getting chips than about Pelosi visiting Taiwan. Some analysts believe that the CHIPS Act, passed by the U.S. Congress recently, was the trigger for Beijing to investigate corruption in China's chip industry. Yahoo's Chinese edition quoted political commentator Qin Peng, saying that in early July, Xi Jinping asked the question to his officials, "After giving you guys 200 billion yuan in 8 years, why are semiconductors still a bottleneck?" Well, Mr. Xi should know the answer better than anyone: corruption. Money seems to have a strong corruptive power over CCP officials that they can't resist. Like China's real estate industry, China's semiconductor industry is also plagued with corruption, over-construction, and highly leveraged capital maneuvers. The state-run Semiconductor Investment Fund was used more as an instrument to speculate in stocks than an institution for conducting basic R&D. The government-backed fund, aka the Big Fund, has investments in 2,793 entities within 3 layers of ownership. They're represented by the 3 columns in this chart by Sayari Analytics. The yellow bars represent companies that have the word semiconductor in their names. The blue bars are electronics companies. The gray bars are investment companies, and the green is other. Whether the investments are through direct or indirect holdings, you can see that the bulk of the investments are companies that have no reference to electronics or semiconductors in their names. In October 2020, Meng Wei, spokesman for the National Development and Reform Commission, admitted at a press conference that China's semiconductor industry is in disarray, with enterprises that have no experience, no skills, and no talents entering the field, and some local governments blindly pushing plans and duplicating constructions, resulting in wasted resources. Sina Technology quoted industry insiders as saying that some semiconductor manufacturing projects only cost 200 million yuan, but reported 2 billion yuan expenses, and the difference probably made some individuals very wealthy. On July 31st, a Chinese financial blogger, Finance 11, published a long article titled "A Brief History of Corruption in the Semiconductor Industry," linking China's lack of technological breakthroughs in chip manufacturing to corruption. According to the article, the corruption in China's semiconductor industry started in the mid-1980s, when former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin was the Minister of Electronics Industry. From 1984 to 1990, the Ministry of Electronics Industry delegated the management of the vast majority of state-owned electronics enterprises to local, provincial, and municipal governments. While these state-owned enterprises obtained more autonomy, something strange happened. These companies imported outdated integrated circuit production lines that had no commercial value. The wasteful projects cost money, but people used the opportunities to take foreign trips, receive kickbacks, and send their children abroad. And this happened on a large scale in China. Jiang Zemin was the Minister of Electronics Industry from 1983 to 1985, which coincided with the timing of the above-mentioned trend. China's high-tech industry, like its financial industry, is dominated by powerful CCP families, and the Jiang Zemin family is one of them. In 1999, Jiang Zemin gave his eldest son, Jiang Mianhen, the reins of China's autonomous chip development. As vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences and president of the Shanghai branch for many years, the junior Jiang has long held the turf of China's science and technology sector. He is also personally involved in China's semiconductor industry. His Shanghai Lianhe investment has holdings of Shanghai Zhaoxin Semiconductor Company. The long Chinese article also gives details on the most sensational scandal in the Chinese chip industry. Chen Jing, a former junior test engineer at Motorola, joined Shanghai Jiaotong University in 2001 after returning to China. He was given the responsibility to develop the Hanxin chip, an important part of the state-run high-tech development program known as the 863 program. In just 3 years, Chen obtained 100 million yuan in R&D funding and applied for 12 national patents. On February 26, 2003, Chen's team officially released the Hanxin 1 chip. The Shanghai Municipal Government, the Ministry of Information Industry, and the Chinese Academy of Sciences all backed his work. The expert panel declared the Hanxin 1 and its related design and application development platform as being the first of its kind in China and achieving an important milestone in the history of China's chip development. Subsequently, Hanxin 2, 3, 4, and 5 chips were launched, all of which were claimed to have reached an advanced level globally. The Hanxin series of chips even entered the General Equipment Procurement Department of the Chinese military. However, 3 years later, on January 17, 2006, Hanxin 1 was revealed to be completely fake. Chen downloaded a Motorola chip source code through a former Motorola colleague. Then he secretly bought a batch of Motorola DSP 56800 series chips, paid a peasant to scrape the original Motorola logo with sandpaper, and asked a local Shanghai print shop to print the Hanxin logo on it. After the scam was uncovered, the pride of China immediately became the laughingstock of the world. What's unbelievable is that Chen was never punished and is still active in the semiconductor industry. That tells us that he must be well connected politically in Shanghai. It is worth noting that when Chen returned from the United States to China and was entrusted with the important task of developing chips in Shanghai, it was the period when Jiang Zemin was the country's top leader, and Shanghai was his power base, with Shanghai Jiaotong University being Jiang's alma mater. By the way, the article that exposed the corruption in the Chinese chip industry has been removed from the internet by CCP censors. That just shows you the Jiang faction's influence is still there. Maybe that's the reason why Xi Jinping is determined to strike down corruption in the chip industry, since the Jiang faction poses the biggest political threat to him. In July, within a matter of 2 weeks, various Chinese chip moguls have fallen. On July 15th, Lu Jun, deputy director at China Development Bank, was investigated. Lu Jun was the former president of Huaxin Investment Management, the company in charge of managing the government chip investment fund, or the Big Fund. On July 25th, Zhao Weiguo, former chairman of Tsinghua Uni Group, was detained for investigation. Once considered one of China's national champions in semiconductors, Uni Group is the first chip company that the State Chip Fund supported and went bankrupt last year. On July 30th, Ding Wenwu, the person in charge of the government chip investment fund, is being investigated. On July 28th, Xiao Yaqing, Minister of Industry and Information Technology, fell from power. Xiao is the first sitting minister to be investigated since Xi Jinping began his second term as the party leader in 2017. What is the unbearable truth behind China's chip industry? Too much money has killed it. I made a video called Too Much Money, and it details how money has brought down Tsinghua Uni Group, a men's soccer team in China. I think the Chinese industries and businesses that have seen a lot of money, such as the banking industry and the real estate industry, are prone to the same problem. The businesses that are not likely to be corrupt are the small mom and pop shops in the neighborhood that don't have a lot of money. They are the backbone of China. That's all for today. I thank you, and I'll see you next time.